high-ranking Nazi who had funded the party from its earliest days. She was sentenced to 60 days hard labor and fined 30,000 marks. The Bechstein Company was banned from making pianos until 1948. She died in 1951.
That was part 2 of Nazis, The Road to Power. Written and directed by Jonathan Meyerson, with Nancy Carroll as Helene Bechstein and Tom Mothersdale as Adolf Hitler. All other roles were played by Joseph Alessi, Oscar Batteram, Edward Bennett, William Chubb, Nicholas Farrell, Scott Karim, George Kemp, Saoirse Kennedy, Jack Lasky, Michael Maloney, Forbes Masson, Lynn Miller and Andrew Woodall. Sound design Adam Woodhams and Mark Smith. Original score by Metaphor Music. The producer was Nicholas Newton. It was a promenade production for BBC Radio 4 and BBC Sounds.
Part 3 of Nazis, The Road to Power is next Thursday afternoon at the same time here on Radio 4. And all the episodes in the series are available now on BBC Sounds.
BBC News at 3 o'clock. Rishi Sunak says the north of England will receive the most cash in the latest round of levelling up money to be distributed by the government. Critics have pointed out that large sums will go to the south-east and London, but the Prime Minister said there were areas of deprivation there which needed support too. Just over £2 billion has been allocated to 111 areas in the UK. Labour says the funding model is unfair, pitting organisations against each other in a sometimes costly bidding process. The Strand Arts Centre in Belfast is one of the winners. Its chief executive, Minnie Turtle, is delighted.
We are absolutely overwhelmed to have received £4,094,000. That will enable Belfast City Council to take this project forward and refurbish the Strand, which has been in desperate need.
Nurses at more than 50 NHS trusts in England are striking for a second day in a row about pay. They're being joined today by around 1,000 ambulance workers in Wales. Hundreds of thousands of people in France have been taking to the streets to protest against government plans to increase the pension age by 2 years to 64. President Macron says the change in policy is necessary to balance the books. A former Swedish intelligence officer has been jailed for spying for Russia for more than a decade. Perrin Kia was involved in passing on about 90 classified documents and was sentenced to life imprisonment. The majority of landowners on Dartmoor have agreed to allow people to camp there without permission. The agreement is only for 1 year. It follows a High Court ruling last week banning wild camping. And a foreign language anti-war film has topped the list of nominations for BAFTAs. All Quiet on the Western Front has 14 nods, closely followed by The Banshees of Inisherin, the story of two feuding friends in 1920s Ireland, and the sci-fi multiverse adventure Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. BBC News.
Cancel culture is just noisy out there, isn't it? Hello, I'm Adam Fleming, and in an era of polarisation, propaganda, and social media pylons, Antisocial is here to offer an alternative.
I'm always trying to learn and do a bit different, do better.
Each week we have 1 hour to discuss one issue. Different perspectives, analysis, and evidence, including the voices who often get drowned out.
As long as people aren't getting hurt, I think there's a place for all kinds of activism.
It's putting people off the cause.
Let's call it Peace Talks for the Culture Wars. Antisocial continues tomorrow at noon on BBC Radio 4 and on BBC Sounds.